Okay. 1 second. How's it, Steve? Okay. Okay, so in this crazy reality of what we live in, we've on a national level to wake up to this crazy news this morning, and see it developing from last night. It's just like the harshest of things. They talk about Am Yisrael when you're learning called the Dofek, right? I don't know if Rav Soloveitchik uses this term of the Chevlei Leida. It's more of like a Rav Kook term, I guess, of it's like the birth pangs of Mashiach, or the birth pangs of Zion as we come back. And you couldn't have a worse image of a woman on her way to give birth being killed as part of those birth pangs in and of herself. It's like just too horrific. And someone who dedicated her life to caring for others who dealt with this trauma. So we should learn at Lilu Nishmata of this Tzila Gaz. And then also more close to home, we had the passing of Debbie Barnett, Zichrono Livracha, which is really sad when you lived near to them for a long time, or they lived near to you for a long time, rather.
Yeah.
Super sad, lovely lady, who passed before her time. And her, David used to often put the shear on for his father when his father was in Talmud. So, both of them within the same year. Please God, they should look after each other up above and give us brachot here down below, because we certainly need it. So the topic of brachot, if you can find Debbie's name, then we'll learn. I think it's Devorah, Sarah, Bat. I can't remember.
But Miriam, I think.
Okay, what's her father's name?
Oh, no, that's a good point. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
for now, that's the learning should be dedicated to her as well. Okay, so talking about brachot from above, Parashat Emor is famous for having the brachot of the Kohanim. And here Avraham Nachshon is going to go into this question of ba'ahava. Like, it's a very unique thing to this bracha of the Kohanim, that they have to levarech the Moshe ba'ahava. Like, we know that commanding an emotion is a very complicated thing. In general, we talk about that within the mitzvot of loving Hashem and loving your fellow Jew and things like that. But here we've got this direct bracha of that includes this is a sort of condition that the Kohanim have to love the people when they bless them.
Sorry, just one. Devorah Sarah Bat Zion Miriam.
Devorah Sarah Bat Zion Miriam. So we should learn Lilu Nishmata, Debbie Barnett. Her Aliyah should have her neshama should have a great Aliyah. Thanks, Wayne. Okay, so this for those who not sure, we get these pieces on the parsha from Beit Kook. So Beit Kook puts out a weekly parsha sheet, and of different people that sort of teach in the style of Rav Kook, or see themselves as Talmidim of Tzvi Yehuda, and they get someone each week to write something, and often we'll see. So let's see what they say here. This Rav Avraham Nachshon is the Rav Kiladatit Lumit of Elad. Elad has some holy people, so he's the rabbi of the community there, and he's written something over here. So Parashat Emor Birkat Kohanim Ba'ahava, in a very strong question mark. Okay, זה שנים מפליאה אותי הברכה המקדימה לברכת הכהנים. So for many years it has been been astounded by this bracha that the Kohanim say. Asher kishanu b'kdashto shel Aaron, so that you have sanctified us in the holiness of Aaron, but tzivanu levarech et Moshe ba'ahava, and that you have commanded us to bless his nation with love. והשאלה מתבקשת לכאורה היא, כיצד יכולים כל הכהנים לומר באהבה? So the burning question at first glance is, how can it be that all the Kohanim need to say באהבה, with love? האם כל הכהנים אכן אוהבים את ציבור המתפללים? האם כולם נוחים לבריות? How can it be, how can we expect that every single Kohen loves every single person in the community? is every single person in the community such a nice, pleasant person that every single coin can bless all of them out of this place of love. Baal Magen Avraham. So Magen Avraham was a commentator on the Shulchan Aruch. It's a Tzeitzit Divrei Zohar Kadosh. So he brings the Zohar, which is an interesting thing because generally you leave Kabbalah out of Halakha. They're two very different worlds. So here you have the great halachas, the Magen Avraham, bringing the words of the Zohar. So he brings this down. We're dealing with very lofty things when it comes to the Birkat Kohanim, and he says, any Kohen who doesn't love Am Yisrael or the nation doesn't love him should not raise his hands to do the bracha. Right? Quite powerful. I just read this little piece. Obviously, everybody's sharing, doing their Facebook debrief therapy around this horrible tragedy that happened in the Shomron, and I saw someone saying how there's no great expression of love, of all that you invest into, bringing a child into the world, and as you're on the way and you've left the children behind at the house and you're on your way to bring a new child home, and it's the ultimate expression of love of the mother and the father. And there you have, perched on a hilltop somewhere, the ultimate expression of hate, where there's this culture and these humans that have undermined their humanity and turned into absolute monsters and revel in hate. So that this guy's going to shoot this lady, kill a pregnant lady about to give birth, and his culture is going to support him and pay him or his family for the rest of their lives for doing such an act. So it's interesting when we look at like what's the bracha and what's the central pivot of our parasha over here is the Birkat Kohanim, and the Birkat Kohanim that's our management, that's our hierarchy, that's our what's the word I'm looking for? What do you call the hoity-toities up there? Can't remember the fancy word for it. What do you say?
The posh.
The posh. Yeah, I'm trying to find
the exalted.
The exalted, getting closer. Like anyway, it'll come to me in about 2 days. I'll let you know. So over there you've got this. This is the hierarchy that we worship of the Kohanim. Right? Everybody aspires to be a Kohen, even us. I speak for myself as like a poor Yisrael. When I'm sitting there, I'm not even a Levi to go wash hands. I'm definitely not even a Kohen who goes up and gives a bracha. I'm just a Stam Yisrael. So even within our within our daily experience, at least in Eretz Yisrael and your Chag experience in Chutz, it's like you see the Kohanim really as the ultimate in high society and in looking up to them. So therefore, how do you and what's the value that they have to have in order to do what they do and to serve as they serve and to have that recognition and that loftiness? It's love. That's our defining factor, whereas their defining factor is complete hate. So it's interesting that's what we're talking about over here. Okay. Al-Kain Hosif Baal Aruch HaShulchan. So the Aruch HaShulchan, who also wrote, he's not the commentary that we put around the Shulchan Aruch, but he's a commentary that comes, he wrote his own book. He was also like a practical pulpit rabbi. So he wrote a beautiful work of halacha. Kilachen b'shat birkat kohanim yekabel lav kol kohen lehov et hatzibur. So he says, therefore, practically, what does the kohen have to do? He has to take a practical stance to accept upon himself to love the congregation. V'chen hatzibur oto, and also the congregation. So we ought moment to step out of whatever space we're in before they stand up, say I love the Kohanim. The Kohanim take the same moment and say we love you, and then within that space the bracha can come. So it's as if to say excuse me, it's as if to say that if we want a bracha from Hashem and the Kohanim are that channel, the way to unlock that pipeline is through this mutual opening of love. So for the Kohanim, for them to be able to take in the bracha from Hashem and channel it onto us, they have to express their love for Am Yisrael, and for us, in order to be able to receive the bracha and give the Kohanim the space to do what they're destined to do, we have to open up that channel of love. So love is this key that opens up this pipeline to allow for the bracha of Hashem to flow. Okay. כתוספת לדבריו ניתן לומר, as an addition to his words, we can say, ששבט הכהונה הוא מצאצאיו של אהרון הכהן. Okay? To even strengthen this point, we see that the Kohanim, they are from the legacy and the progeny of Aaron HaKohen. Shehu Ohev Shalom v'Rodev Shalom, Ohev et Habriot Mekavan Torah. So quoting directly from Pirkei Avot in the first chapter, it says, Hevemi Tamidav Shel Aaron, we should be like the students of Aaron, that is Ohev et Habriot, Ohev Shalom v'Rodev Shalom, that he loves peace, he pursues peace, he loves all of the creations and brings them closer to Torah. And we know that a lot of the commentators talk about how Aaron would be the one who would always be resolving conflicts. So if there were conflicts between spouses, he'd go tell a little bit of a white lie here, a white lie there, to tell them that they both want to make peace, even if they didn't say so, because he was able to take this power of peace and love and use it as a way to direct shalom and ahava through the nation. קדושתו של אהרון שמוזכרת בברכה כוללת בתוכה את אהבת הבריות. So the sanctity of Aaron that's mentioned in this bracha includes within it the ahava of other people, את החסד כלפיהם, doing kindness towards them, ואת החיוך והסבלנות במפגש עמם, and the smile and the tolerance and the patience in encountering with the nation. והאהבה הזו מאפיינת והיא כיוון חיים מרכזי של שבט הכהונה. And this love is a distinguishing factor, it's a defining characteristic, and it is the direction of the central direction of their life of Shevet Kuna. So their whole life and their purpose and their activities are all centered around this. ואפשר, כי אף יתרה מזו, and it's possible that even more than this, עם ישראל אינו חי רק עכשיו ובהווה. עם ישראל doesn't only live in the now and the present. לפחות 3 פעמים ביום, אנו מצפים ואומרים, כי לישועתך קיווינו כל היום, מצפים לישועה. And he's now bringing some other aspect where he says, Am Yisrael doesn't only live in the present moment. 3 times a day, we should be saying this, Ki lishatcha kivinu kol hayom, u'mutzapim liyeshua. I think more much the Sfarad or Sfaradi nusach, where you say this. Prayer from Tehillim, Ki lishatcha kivinu kol hayom, mutzapim liyeshua. That for your or rather we said for it's in the Amidah. Sorry, I'm being silly. So in the brachot in Amidah, I was thinking about Yeshua Hakiviti Hashem. So over here we say that to your yearning, we are hopeful and we expect the Yeshua. So over here, right, let's see how he's going to build this. But he's saying that Am Yisrael that doesn't just live in the present, we're always aspiring and waiting for the Yeshua. Shevet HaKehuna mamtin l'shat HaKosher ba yuchal lakriv korbanot u'la'avod b'Beit HaMikdash. The tribe of the Kohanim waits for the right moment in order to be able to sacrifice the korbanot and work in the Beit HaMikdash. Seder Kodshim v'Seder Torot sherubam hamuchlat lichora ena ma'asim hayom. The whole order of Kodshim and Tarot, it's like within the Sidrei Mishnah, when we're talking about all the holy aspects and all the pure and impure laws around impurity and purity, so most of them are not really practical. And now, at this present moment, they're only in the place of learn them in order to get and expound upon them in order to get reward, because they're not practical. In the future, they will turn to become practical daily halachot. They will become these practical halachot in the future, and the Kohanim will be responsible for those ones. So what's the point that he's trying to make over here? So this aspiring and looking towards the future, the soulful preparation, accompanied with the appropriate learning of Torah. They too are supposed to be part of the life of the Kohanim. Okay, so now he's built this whole thing around saying that the Kohanim are very much connected to this mitzapim liyeshua, to this aspiring and waiting for the Beit HaMikdash to come down. And what's the connection now between this expectation towards the redemption in the future and towards love? Because Klal Yisraeli. So he says this is because of this comes from the understanding that the tribe of the Kohanim are a tribe of Klal Yisrael. They're a tribe that's really motivated and defined by the general population of Am Yisrael, or rather seeing Israel not just as a collection of individuals, but rather as one unit altogether that we call Klal Yisrael. The Kohanim nimtzaim b'mikdash. The Kohanim are placed found in the Mikdash. Pogshim et kol Am Yisrael. That's where they meet all of Am Yisrael. Makrivim et korbanot. They're the ones that bring Am Yisrael's korbanot onto the altar. Umitparalim avuro, and they pray for him. The Kohanim will meet all the people, right? It's not like a university where only the elite who are able to get in and who pass tests and who have the money to be able to do it will go in. But rather, Kohanim meets everybody, no matter where they come from, no matter who they are, no matter what their story is. Everybody's going to come bring their korbanot. Anashim bale interesim menugadim. People that hold lots of different opinions and lots of different agendas. I always think about my Rosh Kollel, Rav Shuki Rach. He gave us a drosha before we had our Chag HaSmicha at Yeshivat HaMivtar, and he said, "You've got to know the difference now that you're leaving the Beit Midrash. You've got to know the difference between the being Torat Beit HaMidrash and Torat Beit HaKnesset, like the way that things are different between a shul and between a Beit Midrash. There's in a Beit Midrash, generally it's people make a refined choice to step in there. And there's a certain element of control of who can be a Talmud in which Beit Midrash, and people have to be accepted. So there's like an exclusivity and a selection process that happens there. So you're not just meeting anybody and everybody. So, but in a Beit Knesset, it's the opposite. The Beit Knesset is there lachnis everybody, right? Like to gather everybody, to bring everybody in, and there you can't choose. So in the Beit Midrash, if someone talks a little bit too loudly or shouts or does some behavior that you don't like, you can go and you can deal with him in a certain way, because there's a certain level of you stepped in here. There's a certain there's certain very specific goals. In a shul, of course, you can't let everybody talk and make a noise, but you can't kick someone out just because you don't like them, right? Or you can't kick someone out because they didn't pass the test to get into the shul. So the shul is full of is a real representative of Klal Yisrael, and the Kohanim. If we can expand what he's saying over here, the Kohanim are the leaders in the shul. They're the leaders that meet all the people and then engage with them. And because therefore they are servants of the tzibur, of the full community, that obligates them to have a certain level of tolerance, of patience, leempathiut, of empathy, lesalchanut, of forgiveness, ul'ava, and love. There's no way that you can run a shul or be in a shul or take leadership in a shul and kal v'chomer in the Beit HaMikdash, which is for all of Am Yisrael, if you can't tolerate Am Yisrael, right? If you're not a people's person, don't be a Kohen. If you're not a people's person, don't be a rabbi of a community, and that's what he's saying over here. That this this aspect of the Kohanim being so connected to Klal Yisrael and Am Yisrael means that therefore they must be intrinsic to them is this requisite for love. And for tolerance and for all the important ingredients that allow for people to be together and to flourish together. And therefore, that's also this other aspect of saying when the Kohanim stand up to be Mavarech at Am Yisrael Ba'ava, or maybe what he's saying over here is that if you say Am Yisrael in the previous part of the bracha, you can't say Am Yisrael without Ahava, because Am Yisrael connects everybody and anybody. Rav Riskin, I was in the same Beit Midrash where I had Rav Shuki Rach and Rav Riskin. Rav Riskin would always say that the Brit of the Torah, when Am Yisrael stood at Har Sinai, okay, all the clever kids come over here. All the people over 30 who've been learning for a certain amount of time. We're going to check your language proficiency. We're going to check your intellectual capacity. And if you make it through the line, then you can come receive the Torah at Har Sinai. No, the Brit of Torah is made with all of Am Yisrael, not with the clever people in Am Yisrael, not with the elite, and not with the hoity-toity. It's with everybody. And therefore that demands love and acceptance and appreciation and achdut. So he brings over here, and therefore we can understand this Isha Yisrael, the fires of Israel, which is the reference to the Korbanot, and their prayers will come soon and be accepted with love. specifically with love, to Gabel Baratzon, right? That's from like the Ritzai prayer that we say. It is called the prayer of Avodah, the prayer of returning the service to the Beit HaMikdash. So there we go. We need a lot of love. The love should overcome. We should have lots and lots of love overwhelming between all of us in Am Yisrael, and hopefully that'll get us closer to this geula that we desperately, desperately need, and we acutely feel the lack of on a day like today. Any reflections? Far away.
I'll take a stab at one. I mean, I thought it was interesting that he talks about the parallel between this commandment, of blessing with love, and then also the litzpot Yeshua, and then the concept that a lot of what the Kohanim learn or prepare for, or what we learn about the Kodshim and the Torat, is not necessarily relevant today, but you learn it because there's a schar in learning it, but then also because you know that one day you're going to have to actually implement it. So it's like a preparation for the days of the Mashiach, or when we return to the Avodah. So in the same way, even if you don't love or can't love as fully as you want to now, that's part of the preparation. I think we lost Liron. It's like seems to be part of the preparation for those days, so that the same way that a Kohen is preparing, to understand the difference between Tahara and Tuma and this and that, and all the various aspects of his duties, in the same way he needs to prepare to be able to love unconditionally all the people that make up our crazy nation, I guess. We lost Ed. How are you doing, Steve? I don't hear you.
Sorry, good, and you?
All right. You look like you're in an aeroplane.
Nah, I wish I was. No, just sitting here chilling.
All right.
Yeah. Like, I think that's it for the day.
I guess it must be. All right.
All right, cool. Have a good to see you.
All right. You too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Okay, we're just rushing all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Lots of love. Cheers.
Lots of love, and
Bye-bye.
thank you. Okay, yes, Sally.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's up, Seth?